All right, let's get right into this. Every single day, cities all over the world produce millions of tons of something we literally just flush away. But what if all that stuff wasn't actually waste? What if it was a hidden resource, a gold mine? Today we're going to look at a project that's trying to do exactly that. Turn a huge public problem into a seriously profitable asset. This is the story of Project N.I.R.M.A.L.
I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? Can you really take raw sewage sludge and transform it into something that makes money and helps save the planet? Well, that's the big question we're tackling today. And believe it or not, the answer involves some pretty clever AI, a little bit of blockchain, and a whole lot of rain. So yeah, let's start with the rain. So, our story kicks off in the Indian state of Kerala. It's this beautiful, lush place, famous for its intense monsoon seasons. But hiding just beneath that gorgeous scenery is a massive environmental headache, one that's both a huge threat and, as you'll see, an incredible opportunity.
Okay, so here's the central paradox of this whole thing. On one hand, the biosolids, the sludge from sewage plants, are absolutely packed with nitrogen. That makes them an amazing and basically free fertilizer for farmers. But on the other hand, if that exact same sludge gets washed into the rivers by heavy rain, it becomes a seriously dangerous pollutant. It's like a classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation.
And this is the razor's edge they have to walk every single day. The whole operation is basically controlled by this 20-40 rule. A little bit of rain, perfect. But if you get too much, anything over 40 millimeters, that valuable fertilizer turns into a dangerous pollutant. And that incredibly thin margin between success and disaster, that's really the villain of our story.
So, when you're up against a problem this tricky, you don't just need a smart solution. You need something that feels like a genuine superpower. And that's exactly what Project N.I.R.M.A.L has up its sleeve with its core innovation.
I mean, this is the key question, isn't it? Sewage plants are producing this sludge 24/7, rain or shine. You can store it for a little while, sure, but what happens when it's been pouring for 3 days straight and your tanks are about to overflow? You can't just call up the city and ask everyone to stop flushing. So how do you solve it when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
Well, you give your system a time machine. The predictive flush is the absolute genius at the heart of N.I.R.M.A.L. Instead of just reacting to the weather today, its AI looks 3 days into the future. If it spots a huge storm brewing on the horizon, it doesn't just wait around for disaster to strike. It acts before it happens, triggering a flush today while the sun is still out, basically creating extra storage capacity out of thin air.
And you can really see the difference here. The standard system is totally reactive. It waits for the big storm on day 3, and by then, it's just too late. Boom, pollution happens. But N.I.R.M.A. is proactive. It sees that forecast on day 1, triggers the predictive flush right then and there, and by the time the storm actually hits, the crisis has already been solved. It's a total game changer.
But here's the thing, the predictive flush is just the start. To make a system like this actually work in the messy, real world, you need a whole suite of tools, an entire arsenal of innovations working together to make it not just smart, but totally fail-safe and, of course, profitable.
First up is this brilliant idea they call carbon arbitrage. I want you to think of the AI as a Wall Street trader, not just a truck dispatcher. See, every delivery of this natural fertilizer replaces chemical fertilizer, and that generates valuable carbon credits. So the AI doesn't just send a truck to the closest farm, it sends it to the farm that will generate the biggest financial return from those credits. It's optimizing for profit, not just for mileage. Okay, so how do you get farmers excited about all this? Well, you turn it into a game. They call it the Sludge DAO. It's basically a secure digital wallet where farmers earn special tokens called Sludge Nitro for every single delivery they accept. They can then trade these tokens for real-world stuff, like discounts on seeds or new equipment. It's so clever, it turns a waste product into a valuable digital asset they actually want to collect. And the whole system is wrapped in these layers of security to make it practically bulletproof. For instance, the Hydrolock protocol uses terrain data to make sure they're not delivering to steep hillsides where it could just wash away. Amphibious routing proactively blocks roads that are known to flood. They even use satellites to make sure a farm is real and not some scam. And if everything goes wrong during a crazy storm, there's a final disaster plan that reroutes the sludge to power plants to generate electricity. It's got a backup for the backup. So the tech is incredible, no doubt about it. But can it actually work as a business? Can this amazing idea, which was born out of a hackathon, actually become a profitable, scalable startup?
Well, the numbers really speak for themselves. Let's just break down the economics of a single truck trip.
The total cost for the truck, fuel, labor, it's about 4,200 rupees. But now look at the revenue. The government pays them to take the waste. The farmer pays a small fee. And those carbon credits add another big chunk. The total revenue comes out to nearly 6,000 rupees. That's a net profit of over 1,700 rupees on every single trip. This isn't some business hoping to be profitable one day. It's profitable from the very first truck that leaves the gate.
And what makes this business model so strong is that it's not just relying on one thing. It has three totally separate ways to make money. You've got the stable fees from the government for managing the waste, you've got the high margin income from trading carbon credits, and you've got subscription fees from big farms. That kind of diversification makes the entire model incredibly resilient.
So, okay, we've got a profitable model that works great in Kerala. But what happens when we zoom out, way out, and look at the bigger picture? What's the true scale of this opportunity across the whole country?
100,000 tons. Get this, that is the staggering amount of sewage sludge India generates every single day. Right now, almost all of that is a huge cost and a source of pollution. Project N.I.R.M.A.L doesn't see that number as a problem. It sees it as a massive, completely untapped gold mine. And this is what that gold mine actually looks like in real money. Even if they capture just 1 tiny % of the Indian market, they're looking at an annual profit of over 6 crore rupees. That's around 800,000 US dollars. But watch what happens. At 5% of the market, that profit just explodes. At 10%, it doubles again. The potential for growth here is it's immense.
You know, this quote really just nails it. It reframes the whole idea. Project N.I.R.M.A.L isn't a garbage collection business. It's a high-tech financial company that works in the climate space. It takes something the government literally pays to get rid of and uses technology to turn it into a valuable asset for everyone.
And that leaves us with this one final, really powerful question. This whole project proves that with the right mix of smart AI, clever incentives, and a solid business plan, we can tackle challenges we once thought were totally unsolvable. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If we can turn sewage into a billion-dollar climate-saving asset, what other so-called impossible problems are just sitting there, waiting for a new way of thinking?